Use the directional buttons to move your character. Press up to jump, down to crouch, and left or right to move forward or backward in relation to your opponent. Most characters, well everyone but Tagar, can even perform a double jump in the air. If you want to do a high jump, quickly press down, then up. And if you want to do a dash or back step, quickly press left or right twice to do one. And again, everyone except Tagar can do that. BlazBlue allows you to remap your controller's buttons, so throughout this disc, we'll use the arcade button terminology of A, B, C, D and start. With that said, use A, B or C to do a normal attack. A is a weak attack, B is a medium one, and C is a strong attack. Most characters can chain these basic moves from weakest to strongest, so pressing A, B, C in succession will usually net you a basic combo if it hits. Oh, and before I forget, you can also combine a direction and a normal attack with some characters to do something entirely different, like down, forward, C. Try it out for yourself and see what combinations you can find. BlazBlue introduces a special button that makes it easy to do something cool, but it still offers a lot of options once you learn how to properly use it. So press D to unleash a special attack that's unique to the character you're playing. For instance, one character can steal life, another can freeze the opponent, and another can even control the wind. I'll go into more detail about their drive attacks later on this tutorial disc. And just like normal attacks, you can combine a direction with D to do something entirely different. Try them out. And for completion's sake, you can also taunt your opponent with start. Press B and C to throw your opponent. Throws can't be blocked, but you need to be near them to do it. You can also throw them in the air, and even during a combo. In addition to your normal attacks, you can also have special attacks. The actual command to do one depends on who you use, but it's always a motion on the directional buttons, followed by a button. We'll list the exact commands in the character-specific sections for you. Distortion drives are just like special attacks, but stronger, so they need 50% of your heat to do. Just like special attacks, the command to do one depends on the character. Press A, B and C the moment your attack lands to do a rapid cancel. Rapid cancels interrupt your attack, instantly allowing you to do something else entirely, whether it be to continue your attack or to stop yourself so you can retreat safely. Astral Heats are finishing moves you can use against your opponent, but there are 3 conditions that need to be met in order to use them. 1. It's the final round of the match. 2. Your opponent has less than 20% of their health. And 3. Your heat gauge is full. And just like special attacks and distortion drives, the command to do one depends on who you use. BlazBlue has a large number of defensive options at your disposal. You don't need to know all of them to enjoy the game, but you'll be a better player once you become acquainted with them. Press the direction opposite of your opponent to block their attacks, back to block high attacks, and down back to block low ones. If you're blocking a special attack, each hit will lower your HP by a small amount, which is commonly called chip damage. Keep in mind that not all attacks can be blocked while standing. Some attacks need to be blocked low and vice versa. So watch what your opponent is doing and react appropriately. Press A, B or C while you're knocked down to roll and quickly get up. You can control a roll's direction with the directional buttons and even perform it while you're in the air. Remember that if you're knocked down, you're still open to be hit by your opponent, so make sure you roll at the right time to avoid getting hit. The more common term for this act of recovery is the Japanese martial arts word yukemi, which roughly translates to falling technique. You may come across that word often if you're looking stuff up online. In BlazBlue, exclamation marks will appear over you every time you're thrown normally. A green one if it's a regular throw, a set of purple ones if you're thrown while being hit. Press B and C during that time to escape it, and no, you can't mash the buttons. If you do that, a big fat throw, reject, miss will appear on the screen and you'll still be thrown. So keep an eye on what your opponent is doing and you'll be fine. Hold A and B while you're blocking to perform a barrier block. Blocking this way will stop the movement of the guard Libra, push your opponent further away, and negate any chip damage you receive from normally blocking special attacks. This move gives you a slightly stronger block in exchange for draining your barrier gauge, but be careful so you don't completely drain it. If it empties out, you'll enter a danger state where you'll take more damage if you're hit. The barrier gauge automatically recovers over time. Block just before you're hit to perform an instant block. You'll know you're doing it right when your character flashes white. When you use an instant block, you'll take less time to recover from the block, meaning you'll be able to retaliate that much faster, and you'll even gain a little heat. For those who are interested, it's a 5-frame advantage on the ground and a 10-frame advantage in the air. Press forward, A and B, while you're blocking to perform a counter-assault. This move needs 50% of your heat gauge, but allows you to knock your opponent away from a blocking stance. It's a good way to get out if you're being pressured and have some heat to spare. Press A, B, C and D to use your barrier burst. This is your last line of defense, able to knock your opponent away if you're blocking or being comboed. Once it's been used, it completely expends your barrier gauge and throws you in a danger state for the rest of the round. For those who are interested, a barrier burst activates in 8 frames with a full barrier gauge, 20 frames with 99 to 50% of the gauge, and 32 frames in 49 to 1%.